Okay, and we are live. Good morning, everyone. I actually need to switch spots with you.
Oh, Alan dropped off super quick.
Peter, can I?
Yeah, I'm working on it. Here she comes, man. I gotta go.
Hang on a second there, Doug. Guys, we're in a hotel room and we're trying to switch around here. Grabbing chargers and.
Well, isn't it great that you can take your show on the road?
Oh, no, that is awesome. It makes it so much. There we go. Oh, I'm really short. Where'd I go? There we are.
There's your beautiful face.
I am. Hi, Doug.
Hi, Christine.
Missed you. So I was just talking about. Sorry, we're trying this one. Unplug you.
Yeah, of course.
Sorry, we're trying to figure out chargers here. We want to make sure we don't die.
Not dying is a good thing.
Not dying is a really good thing. We were just talking as we're setting up here. And I was just talking to Doug, and we were talking about donations and knife rights and the laws and shows. And I was saying how excited I am. I love Knife Rights Live because I think it's absolutely the cost. You all, I mean, come on, with inflation and everything, you guys all know, I mean, how bad it is right now. And the amount of time, I was just talking to Doug about where he's going next. And there's a lot of traveling involved to these different states and where you have to go and you know, getting the support for Knife Rights and attending shows to get people to
donate knives.
To donate knives, yeah. And I mean, I think you said you're going to be home for 4 days in the next month.
No, I've been home no longer than 4 days at a time for the last 2.5 months. I'm actually home for a whole 2 weeks, or 1 day short of 2 weeks. You know, Sue's about at the point of don't you have to leave now? But look, myself and my lobbyists both travel over 100,000 miles a year in order to get done what we get done, because we discovered a long time ago that the way you get things done is by showing up. You can't write this in, you can't email this in, you can't Zoom this in. You have to actually show up, and that's one of the secrets of our success.
Yeah.
So a lot of travel.
A lot of people don't know there's only 3 of you.
Yep. My lovely wife, Sue, who puts up with me despite the fact that I'm nuts, myself, and our lobbyist, Todd. Hi, Peter. Yeah, it's just the 3 of us. It's really, you know, we hit a huge milestone on lost track Thursday when Governor Wolf in Pennsylvania signed our bill repealing their switchblade ban. So that makes 40 bills signed in 26 states in 13 years.
Yep.
I certainly didn't expect us to be that successful when we started. The majority of people who I said, hey, I have this great idea, told me I was crazy and we would never repeal a knife ban in the United States. They're, you know, this has succeeded beyond all expectations. But by the same time, we got a lot of work to do, and like you noted, it costs more to do it. It costs, and we've already working on like 12 states for next year. We'll probably pick up another 2 or 3 states at our upcoming National Assembly of Sportsmen's Caucuses Summit here at the end of this month. And, you know, depending on the elections, we may get some opportunities in some other states. So we've got all this momentum going. I mean, 6 states that we got something done in this year. And, you know, next year could be a barn buster. It's early. But we got to have the money to get out there and do it. So you guys working to raise us money in Knives Live. This is incredible, just incredible. Thank you so much.
Satisfaction put up a good question. Who's going to carry your torch when you retire?
Haven't found anyone crazy enough yet, so keep praying for my my long life. You know, it's hard to find somebody. I think, as we discussed, I don't get paid by knife rights. I don't take a salary. I don't take an hourly wage. If I didn't have my RSK, I can't even talk this morning.
That's okay.
If I didn't have my RSK knives to help keep a roof over our heads, and which allow me to spend 95% of my time on knife rights, there's no way I could do this. And so, okay, we want to hire an executive director to do it. Well, that probably takes away a third of the states that we accomplish every year, because we have to show up. If I'm paying someone a salary, a significant sum of money, that's money we can't spend on actually getting out. And I think, as I mentioned, the fact is we have to show up.
Right.
We have to show up in the state house. I have to show up at knife shows to talk to makers and manufacturers to donate the knives that, through our fundraisers, we eventually turn into the funds we need. It all works together.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't have right now. There's no plan. I get asked that a lot. I wish I had a better answer, but pray for my good health as well as our success.
Well, and maybe we should just have the knife community step up, and if everybody just band together, think of what we could do.
So if everyone who follows all of these knife community YouTubers donated $1, everyone donated $1, then our money problems would be solved, and we could probably get even more done. But the fact of the matter is, not everyone can afford $1 or $2 or whatever.
Right.
And I get that. The reality is, we need the folks who can to donate $10 to become members for $35 to help us, and those who are listening and can't afford to donate. Part of what we need to do is get the word out. The more people that know about us, the more opportunities we have to raise the funds. My passion, which is drives us, it's fed by the funds. If we don't, I can have all the passion in the world. If we don't have the funds we need to travel and put on legislative events and do all the stuff that we do that allows us to get it done.
Yeah, and
nothing gets done.
The amount of information, because I'm a member, I've been a member, but the amount of information that you actually get for the $35, and you guys go to kniferights.org. There is so much information on different things, and it's great to be able to follow kind of your journey. When we go to shows, I see you and I talk to you there and everything, but we don't sit and talk about everything that you're doing behind the scenes, everything that's happening. So, and for those of you that have never been to one of the shows, Doug's everywhere, literally everywhere. I was going to tell a story, if you're okay.
I'm okay. I have nothing to hide too much. Nothing you know about. Go for it.
For those that don't know Doug, right now, at the last show, it was Blade West in Utah. And Doug has a bad knee right now. And I have a bad back. So we were laughing and joking around. Well, Doug actually had one of those ride-on scooters. And we're cracking up. And he says, oh, jump on. So I jumped on the front of that thing. And he takes off. And we're like almost crashing into people. That was a blast. That was so much fun. But my point being that Doug is every show. He's every single show, you guys. And it's absolutely crazy, like I said, what it takes and the amount of work it takes for you to get to all these shows, to get the word out. So things like this, things like Knife Rights are absolutely awesome. The information that you get, and you have an app too. There's also a Knife Rights app.
Legal Blade.
And that's really cool. Stacey, if you have a chance to find that, that would be awesome. And post that. If you're going to a state and you're not sure what the law is, use that app, because that thing is just awesome. It gives you all the information that you need, what you can carry, what's not allowed. That is really important to be safe where you're going to, and to not get yourself in trouble.
And I think it's important to note, it's not just states. In the states where we haven't yet passed knife law preemption,
yeah,
you can cross the line on a map and your knife is legal on one side of the line, the other side of the line, you're a potential criminal. So besides the 50 states and the District of Columbia, we also include the knife laws for like 40 major cities. And we also include links that you can go to find the local city, county codes, town codes. So you can look up, okay, I'm going to wherever, and oh, they have a 3-inch limit. I got to be careful. And let's face it, the problem isn't, except in some places like happened in New York, people aren't looking to arrest you for carrying a knife. But if something happens and you have an interaction with law enforcement and you happen to be carrying an illegal knife, instead of a traffic ticket suddenly or a warning, suddenly they've got your knife and you've got a more serious problem.
Exactly.
So it's not a problem until it becomes a problem. And our goal is to make sure it can't become a problem because there's no laws against the knives you carry.
Hey, real quick, thank you, Edgy American, which we all know is Mr. Shane. And also, I just saw another one pop up, Mr. Mike Jurgens. You guys support knife rights. And just to reiterate, I know you guys have heard this on every live, but again, every $10 donation that you give gets you an entry into the giveaways. There are 5 huge prize packages, and each one's like at least $1,000. What? Over on Knife Rights. Yeah, by the way, if you guys want to see what's in the prize package, you can go over to the kniferights.org website. Hey, Beefer, and you can see what's actually included in the prize packages.
And from based on what we've heard so far, those prize packages are going to grow. There may be a 6th prize package, and 3 of them have your choice of any in-stock RSK folder at KnifeWorks. So we're up in our game as well.
I mean, like, I don't know, the jade one that we were just talking about. Let's show that one.
Like that one?
I need that one. Yes. Because I need another one.
I know where you can get one.
Do you?
KnifeWorks.
Where might that be? Knifeworks.org?
.com
for the knife. Org to give for food.
Kniferights.org for donations. Knifeworks.com for my RSK knives. And
thank you.
And just so people understand how this works, I spend 95% of my time working on Knife Rights stuff, the vast majority of it doing fundraising so that Todd and I can travel and do what we do at the state houses. If I didn't have my knife sales to support us, then I couldn't do Knife Rights. So when you buy one of my knives, you're supporting Knife Rights. It's really that simple. And I'm really glad I don't have to shill for a crappy knife. I think my knives are pretty good and they're very well received, and I'm blessed to be working with Hogue, who are just producing a second to none quality knife for me.
And I was saying I have 3 or maybe 4 of your knives already, I think. I don't know. And it had been a couple of years. We've been talking back and forth, and it was actually kind of funny because then you put the jade one up. Yeah, see, I have the purple one, the red one, the orange one. And then, of course, Peter's full size. He just got this one. Love it.
Hey.
Oh, that magnet.
He's got to come over and talk to you about it.
I do.
Quickly.
Really quick.
Hi, Peter. Again.
Yeah, and I have a fairly dense knife collection. The milling on this carbon fiber is the best I've ever seen.
Thank you.
It is astonishing.
That is going back to what we were saying while we were talking in the bathroom, Doug. So while Peter was getting ready, I had to run over to the other side of we're in a hotel room for those of you that don't know. So I'm running over there to basically to the kitchen sink, whatever area. And I was telling Doug, I've had a couple people say, well, what's so great about it? I have a griptilian. Okay. Anytime, and I'm sorry for the griptilian fans, but anytime you set a griptilian down in front of me and you set the RSK down in front of me, I'm going to grab this. Why? Well, there's 2 main reasons. The first reason is the knife itself. This is it's made by Hogue. It's a Doug Ritter design made by Hogue. The fit and finish on this thing, the handles, I mean, just absolute everything about this knife is just perfect to me. And it may not be your thing, but to me, it is absolutely perfect. That's why I have so many, and I will be getting a jade one. The second thing is when I buy the knife, it supports knife rights. So if you guys are happy that you can carry your knife legally where you are, thank the man that's right in front of you right now. Thank Doug, because he's out there lobbying for your rights to carry, your rights to have, there's so many. I'm in California. There are things that we are not allowed to carry. Someday we hope to get Doug here, and I promised him, if you ever come here, I will do whatever I will help you out. I will help you lobby in California, because I'd love to see our knife laws changed. And as you were saying in the beginning, how many states? 40 states?
40 states, 26 states, 40 bills in 26 states in 13 years.
I mean, and it's not like what is or is there an average time that it takes you to fight a bill? Or does it depend on the state?
No, there's no average time. Sometimes we get things done in a year. That would be the exception. Pennsylvania, which we just finished up on Thursday, we've been working in Pennsylvania on and off for 10 years, a decade. New York, with our fight with New York City, that was 9.5 years, 2 vetoes from the governor, case on appeal to the Supreme Court. I mean, over almost $1 million over 9.5 years. But, that was terrible. I mean, we 70,000 people, think about that number, 70,000 people arrested in New York City and prosecuted for carrying a common pocket knife.
Right.
If we hadn't been successful back in the summer of 2019, so this is what, 3 years later. So based on the rate of arrests when we finally ended this, there would be another 15, 20,000 people, because they were ramping up, that were prosecuted for just carrying a simple pocket knife. I mean, that's just wrong.
It is wrong. And it's, sorry, somebody asked me, brand new American there, can you show the full versus the mini? I didn't mean to interrupt you. I just wanted to show everybody. So this is your full size on top here, your mini. And Doug's got larger hands, so you can get a kind of a size comparison in hand. I have small hands.
So to put numbers to it, the full size blade is 3.4 inches. The mini blade is 2.9 inches.
Yeah, you can't go wrong with either. So I didn't mean to interrupt. I heard you on, I believe it was Stas as I was listening, and you were talking about New York. And it makes me feel good in here in California.
So, California is not nearly as bad as some states. I mean, look at New Jersey. So New Jersey is the only state where every knife violation is the equivalent of a felony. They call it something else, but it's a felony.
Yeah.
So if you get prosecuted and found guilty of a felony, you lose your right to vote. You lose your right to get a firearm. There are all kinds of bad things that come about simply because you're carrying a knife that they don't like.
Right.
Working with our friends with the NRA affiliate in New Jersey, we were just able to get a bill that's going through the New Jersey legislature, amended in the Senate, to pull out a portion of that bill that would have pretty much made you subject to a felony level violation for carrying a knife almost anywhere in the state.
Yeah.
Okay. Or for that matter, a baseball bat or a crowbar for a workman or a screwdriver. It was terrible. If we had just all sat back and said, oh, well, New Jerseyers, men's, I don't know. If people who live in New Jersey, they they would have been screwed even worse than they're already screwed when it comes to knife laws.
Right.
So it's not just a question of being on the offense, repealing existing bad laws, but it's also getting in there and stopping bad laws. I mean, since we started in 2010, we've stopped 10 really bad knife bills, anti-knife bills, in 6 states, along with the 40 bills that we've gotten signed.
Yeah. Yeah, I remember when Texas, not that long ago, and I think it was Blade Show 2021, about that time we were talking about it, and that was when you had just gotten a bunch of laws passed in Texas, and we had a bunch of friends there. I don't know if it was 2021 or not. I could be off on my timing, and a bunch of the people that were in the lives and stuff that live in Texas were just beyond excited for,
most people don't realize that until we fixed it, it was illegal to carry a Bowie knife in Texas.
Yes.
I mean, Texas.
Yeah. Where you can carry a pew-pew.
So there is no rational basis for any of the knife laws, which is one of the reasons that we get bipartisan support for most of our bills. I mean, we get folks who sponsor our bill. We get legislators who sponsor our bills who are rabidly anti-gun. But because it's not guns and because it's criminal justice reform and their folks are being arrested, they can get on board. They can sponsor our bills. Like I said, the vast majority of our bills get passed with strong bipartisan support. I mean, Virginia, it was virtually unanimous. Pennsylvania just now 202 to 1 in the House and 50 to nothing unanimously in the Senate. You can't get much better than that. And look around. Who else is getting bipartisan support for these kind of bills?
Right.
That would be us.
So the most recent one, and I was reading that earlier, was Pennsylvania.
Mm-hmm.
Pennsylvania, as of January 1st, 2023, you repealed the switchblade ban. Am I correct?
That's correct. Yeah. And that was a decade worth of working in Pennsylvania that all came together this year. Again, an example of you just got to keep plugging away. Yeah. This was like, I think the 3rd or 4th bill that we had filed in Pennsylvania. And this year it all came together. And people were saying, oh, there's no way you're going to get the governor to sign that bill. Well, when you only have one nay vote in the legislature and both sides are in favor of it, even someone that people swore there's no way you're going to get Governor Wolf to sign that bill, we're like, well, we'll see. And turns out, yeah, we can get him to sign our bill. That's what bipartisan support brings to the party. That's one of the reasons we've been so successful, regardless of whether the state is red, blue, or purple.
Now, you made a good point. You had said that you'd filed bills. Okay, I'm sorry, it's early morning, so I'm not going to, I can't remember exactly what you said, but people need to know that it's not like you just go file a bill and then it gets passed. You may have to file the same bill more than once in order to get that passed.
Yeah, I mean, the fact is that, so filing the bill is, relatively speaking, the easy part.
Right.
Getting it passed can be very difficult. And it's especially frustrating. For example, using Washington State as an example, we've had a bill there every year for last 5 or 6 years. I mean, we got one bill passed. Now we're trying to get rid of their switchblade ban for civilians. I mean, and we have gotten so close, one vote away from getting a bill done, and then we run out of time, and then you have to start all over. But if you don't do that, one of these days we're going to get Washington done, and we're going to get Washington done because we have been working there for years and years and years. People are getting more comfortable with, we'll get a change in leadership and they'll say, yeah, let's make it happen. You don't do that by just showing up once. You do that by just persevering, just being, I'm a stubborn ass. I'm just going to keep plugging at it. And eventually we're going to get these states that are hard to get done. People said, oh, you'll never get a bill passed in Pennsylvania. Oh, you'll never get a bill passed in Illinois. Oh, New York is hopeless. Well, we've done it. We've done it because we keep coming back. The sad part is each one of those attempts costs tens of thousands of dollars. But if you don't do that, nothing gets done. And that's why raising money, that's why Knives Lives is so important to us, because Todd and I can't travel. We can't do the things that we need to do without these funds. It's just that simple.
A couple things. There's a question up there, but one of the things is you had mentioned you may file a bill and it may expire.
Mm-hmm.
What is the length of time? Is there set a length of time when you file a bill, or is it different for different states? How long you actually have?
So every state is different. Some state legislatures are year-round, so they start in January and they end on December 31st.
Okay, so some are calendar year.
Some state legislators have 60-day sessions. So you have 60 days to get everything done. And you're this little tiny bill that very few people care about. And there are really big bills that everyone cares about, including things like the budget. Each kind of circumstance has advantages and disadvantages. The advantage of the year-long sessions, and sometimes 2-year-long sessions, is that you have more and more time to get things done, even though it seems almost everything gets done at the end. When you have one of these compressed short sessions, there's at least a sense of urgency, because people know we got 60 days to get this done. We don't get it done, then it's going to be another year. So there's advantages and disadvantages. Some states, you have one hearing per house. Ohio, where we've just finished with our second bill last year. Ohio, one of our bills, we a total of 10 hearings, each one of which Todd has to travel to be at.
Yeah.
I mean, that's hugely expensive. That's their system. We have learned the hard way that it's okay to grumble about how any particular state goes about it. But the fact of the matter is, if you want to win, you got to play their game. And that's what we do. That's what we do.
Nick, that's a fabulous question. So Nick is asking, anything else other than donating that you would like us to do as a community?
Yeah, a couple things. One is spread the word. The more people that sign up for our Facebook or Instagram page, sign up for free News Slice newsletter, the more people are there when we in a particular state need folks to write a committee chairman or to write their senator or assembly or house member. And those emails are incredibly important. And the other thing is, sometimes we have hearings and sometimes we need people to show up. Legislators need to sometimes see proof that we represent a significant number of people. A lot of people carry knives, and sometimes they take our word for it. And sometimes we got to show up with more than just Todd or I speaking at a hearing. We need to show up with 40 or 50 people in the audience. So the most important thing is getting the word out. And the more people that get involved, it's just natural. The more people we can reach with our fundraisers. And our Ultimate Steel fundraiser, a couple of years ago, we had $225,000 worth of prizes, the majority of which are knives. This year, I think we were at just under $200,000 worth of prizes. We've got custom knives in there every year that are valued up to, $5, $6, $7, $8,000
Oh, it's crazy.
that you can win.
Yeah.
You make a donation and you can win. So the more people that we can offer that opportunity to, the more money we're going to raise. And we, a good third of our annual budget comes from the Ultimate Steel. We need people to know that we're doing this, and they can go, holy cow, I can win these incredible prizes, and I get to choose my prize. I just don't get a particular knife, but I get to choose from all the knives or guns or whatever that are left when it's my turn to choose. So we think it's pretty compelling fundraiser. It is a royal pain in my butt to put on. It's a significant part of the reason why I go to all these shows, talking to knife makers and talking to knife manufacturers about donating knives so that we have something really cool to offer folks to win.
Yeah.
And, we also do donation bonus knives, for $100 donation, you get a really nice knife, and $200 donation, you get a little nicer knife. The manufacturers that support us with these donation bonus knives, make it really compelling for people to donate. I think it's the best fundraiser around, but I might be a wee bit biased.
It's pretty crazy. It is pretty crazy. It's a good fundraiser. And like Nick says, hashtag Doug deserves a break.
I'll get plenty of rest when I'm 6 feet under.
Right. It's interesting though, because you said if everybody, reiterate on that, if you guys, sign up for the newsletter. If you can't donate, sign up for the newsletter, spread the word. What, Peter?
Spread the word.
Spread the word. It's important to get the word out there. And the more that, like last year, Knife Rights, the Knives Live was smaller. This year, it's gained traction. It's bigger. It's all of us in the community, all of us that want to carry and to carry legally. And some of us are in states where you can, some maybe aren't. A lot of that's thanks to Doug and the fight that he's fighting. And again, there are only 3 of them. There is him, his wife. I almost said his wife, Todd. Oh my God. Sorry, Sue. His wife, Sue.
Sometimes it feels like we're married.
Well, his wife, Sue, and Todd. So there's only 3 people doing this. So right there on the screen, you guys donate for a chance to win. Every $10 gets you an entry. If you're not sure what the prize packages are right now, there is 5. They're completely insane. They're worth about $1,000 each. They're growing. So the prize packages are well worth it. If you want to just do $10, if you can do a donation, a membership, the membership is awesome. It lets you know what's going on. Maybe you're traveling to a state and maybe Doug's in that state and he's fighting a bill there. And you have the opportunity to show up and maybe support or maybe even speak your mind about why you support it. With how big this community is, every person, by the way, Mike, thank you for your donation. I did see that and I apologize for not saying that sooner. If every person donated $1 in this community, that would
raise millions.
It would raise
really
millions.
Get a lot done. We could come to California with that kind of money.
Yay! Everybody donate $1. We want Doug to come to California. It's just, and you were saying it cost you like about $300,000 a year, just off the top of your head.
That our annual budget runs about that, and we're going to have to raise significantly more next year to keep pace because
inflation, everything's going up.
So you have to understand, well over half of our trips are done on less than 48 hours notice. You don't get any bargain from the airlines when you buy a ticket and you need to leave the next day. So tickets that were costing us $600-700, maybe close to $1,000 a year ago or 2 years ago,
or almost double.
One flight this year for Todd was just over $2,000 for an economy class middle seat.
Well, and it's because
he had to be at a hearing the next day.
I was going to say, and when you have that last minute, because we have a lot of guys that at our company that travel, and when you have that last minute call, your $200 ticket has now changed to $1,000 because you're only going in 48-hour notices. And that's pretty much what you guys are doing consistently, is having to fly at short notice.
Yeah, we get no say. We don't have any say when these hearings are. The sponsor calls up and says, I need you in Columbus, Ohio tomorrow or the day after. It's like, okay.
And it could be during a time like spring break when the rates are up. It could be close to the holidays when rates are up. So yeah, I mean, it is definitely something that's not cheap. I'm an avid supporter of knife rights. I carry a knife. I love knives. What you're doing is allowing me to do what I do and allowing you guys out there to be able to carry if you're in a state where, you can carry, or maybe you woke up and you found out that, you're as of January 1st, 2023, you can carry a knife now and out the front, a switchblade. Thank you, Doug. So that's part of what he does. And that's what Knife Rights does. And I say he because, again, there is only 3 of them, him, his wife, and Todd. So people think, oh, Knife Rights is this big thing and they have all this money and all these people. No, they don't. And it's all,
I wish,
I know, right? It's all donations, all based on donations and the sales of your knife, because what you do sell does go to allowing you to make these trips and to fight these bills and pay the money that it does cost to do it. And I know I keep reiterating that, but people really do need to know the cost behind it, because I think that's really important.
As the saying goes, freedom isn't free. And it's not just blood that is paid to keep us free, but also dollars and cents for advocates to show up in legislatures, like we do, to ensure that bad laws don't get passed and to repeal bad laws that have been on the books for decades. I mean, some of the knife laws that we've repealed have been on the books since the Civil War. So yeah, you want freedom. Unfortunately, you got to pay, or you got to help in some way. Spread the word so that more people know about us, so we have a bigger pool of people to raise funds from. I mean, that's really important. The vast majority of knife owners have absolutely no idea what we're doing.
So Last Ranger made a comment. Oh, I'm going to carry if it's legal or illegal. I just use common sense. That was another conversation that's come up. It's not a problem until it's a problem.
That's exactly right.
And
I get emails and phone calls every week from people who have never had a problem until it became a problem.
That's right.
And now they're calling, looking for help. And what do I do? I get it. It's interesting when we overturn a ban on automatic knives. Some of the manufacturers tell us, well, in X state, we had a little bump, but it didn't make a lot of difference because people were ignoring the law. In other states, it's like, holy cow, you can't find an automatic knife anywhere in the country for a month because they were obeying the law. And now all of a sudden they can have an automatic knife and everyone's buying one. But just because you haven't been stopped, you haven't run into trouble because of your knife today, doesn't mean it's not going to happen tomorrow. It's not just a question of your attitude. Cops having a bad day, they're human too. As much as I respect cops, we saw situations in New York City where, it's just terrible. In New York City, 86% of the people that were arrested were people of color. That makes no sense.
Right.
But it's unfortunately true. It's one of the reasons that we get support from the other side of the aisle, is because we see that sort of thing time and time again. I mean, New York was stark because of the quantities of the number of people that were arrested, number of knives that were confiscated. But all I can say is, if you haven't been stopped yet, great. And you may never get stopped. But if you are stopped, watch out. It could be a simple traffic stop. It could be a jaywalking stop. It's just, it's not a problem till it's a problem. Our goal is to make sure nobody ever has to face that problem. Let's get rid of the laws, and then there's no jeopardy there.
Yeah, my son's 19, and he recently I know, right? He recently just totaled his car.
Ouch.
And so I got a call at 2:30 in the morning, and he carries a knife because mom does. He's always been into knives too. And so one of the first things I did when I saw him, and I was like, do you, because the cops weren't there yet, and he happened to be close to home. He's like, I said, do you have anything on you? Do you have any knives on you? And he says, no, I don't. I said, where are they? And he goes, well, I think they're in the trunk. And I'm like, okay. Well, that could be an issue too if they decided he's 19, if they decided to search his car. Now, he got really lucky, and the cops are really cool, and I ended up talking to him, and unfortunately, he was carrying a Smith & Wesson that was serrated. That was terrible. But, so...
Scary knife.
But we were actually talking about it, and it was interesting because, he was talking about they absolutely... It depends on your attitude. Like, he started, my son, the first question they ask when you get pulled over is, what have you been drinking or what have you been doing? And he started getting really pissy, and I just leaned over and smacked his arm, and I'm like, this is their job. What I should have done is just let him go, because do you want to see what's going to happen when you're a jerk? Let them do their job, So it has a lot to do with approach. It has a lot to do with who's pulling you over, has a lot to do with what you did. But just the fact that you may be coming from work and have a knife on you. I have a knife every day in my pocket. If I get pulled over for a speeding ticket, and say I happen to be carrying 2 knives that day and one's an auto, or maybe there's an auto in my car and they're not legal in California if they're over a certain length, now I'm screwed.
So in New York City, when we had this debacle of people being arrested every day for common pocket knives, I remember vividly one of the phone calls I got. An electrician was sitting on the stoop of an apartment. They just finished doing some work inside. He had a knife in his tool bucket. Cops driving down the street, stopped, walked out, ended up arrested.
Yeah.
For a knife that he was using at work. That, was just a common pocket knife.
Yep.
So for those of you who are going to carry whatever you want to carry, great. But if something goes wrong, I hate having to say I told you so. That sucks. All right. Respect the law, help us change the law, and then you have to worry about it.
Yeah. That's true. And I'm guilty of it. I carry what I want to carry. Now, do I carry illegal knives?
Of course not.
Sometimes I do.
No, you do not.
I do. I do not.
Right.
I do not.
You do not. Let's say it again.
I do not.
Never, ever.
Never. And I say the same thing. It's like it's.
And we would never suggest that anyone carry a knife that is illegal in their state, city, or county.
Peter, you're right. That's our line. We know people do it. But,
yeah.
I get those phone calls and emails on a regular basis. So I know it happens. So help us get rid of the laws, and you don't have to worry about it. I'm lucky. I live in Arizona. We have never had any knife restrictions in the state. And in 2010, Arizona was the first state we passed knife law preemption in. And now, doesn't matter. If I want to walk down the street with a katana, it's perfectly legal. Right. If I want to hide a katana in my pants leg, it's perfectly legal. It's just not illegal to carry a knife in Arizona, period.
So, and then we were talking about, well, we weren't, you and Stas were, and we've talked about this on different, you've talked about on different lives, but it's not even pocket knives that are the number one knife for basically incidents with a knife.
Not even close. So we know from talking to people in law enforcement that the number one, by a vast majority, knife that is used to commit violence against another person are kitchen knives. And look, the vast majority of those are domestic violence circumstances. Couple in a kitchen arguing, what's handy? Knives. And it's not unusual for that to spill out into the street. And kitchen knives are often carried by people as a knife that is used offensively. I mean, you can read the headlines in New York City about people being stabbed with kitchen knives because they're cheap and they're easily available.
And they're legal.
And they're legal.
No matter the size.
We have been lucky, or I think it's just the fact that it's reality. We have repealed 40 knife bans so far in 26 states. Not a single example of anyone coming back and saying, okay, we want to reinstate the knife ban. We had one incident in Texas where the mother of a young man who was murdered a block from the Texas legislature. When we passed our bill that made the illegal knife that was used for that murder legal, she wanted to try to repeal it. Well, that bill never went anywhere. It didn't even get a hearing because the fact of the matter is it doesn't make any difference. We know that. So, and legislatures, I hate saying, so we are doing things, you are helping fund things that don't just make a difference today, but make a difference a decade, 2 decades, 4 decades, 5 decades from now. We're doing things that ensure that hopefully our grandkids, our great grandkids, will carry a knife and never realize that knife was once illegal.
Yep.
That's the aim. Yeah, we're helping people today, but we're also making a difference for generations of Americans to come.
Yeah.
If you look at our logo right at the top, it says a sharper future. That is our goal. A future where nobody is going to be arrested for carrying a knife that isn't used criminally. If you're carrying a knife, that should not come into the equation, no matter what happens, unless you actually use that knife to commit a crime.
Right. Yeah, I don't thinkle.
This is what happens when you have early morning.
I was cracking up because I literally got out of bed, like rolled out of bed 5 minutes before Pete's live, and I'm sitting here on the couch. I'm not even dressed yet, and I'm just like, oh my God, it's so early. We got probably 3 hours of sleep. Anyways, really quick, I want to tell everybody, I do have a giveaway. I'm going to keep Doug here, but I'm going to do the giveaway. I want you guys to, in the comments, you are to type in hashtag Doug Ritter. So hashtag capital D Doug, capital R Ritter, no space. And then we're going to pull the winner from that. I'm going to show really quick what you're going to get. So I want to be quick here. You're going to get a heavy metal Brighton Blades, one of the Brighton Blades heavy metal knives. You're going to get, because it's getting cold out, I'm going to give you guys a hot hands. Got to keep your hands warm so you can use your knives. You're going to be getting one of the Rosecraft blade tonks in one of my favorite colors. A Dam Designs. Which one was this one again? This is the Banshee.
Wow, that's quite a giveaway.
Last one. And I'm not giving away my RSK because nobody's ever getting those. And then you're going to get an Andar Wallets dinner. Oh, and because we all want you to take care of your knives, I'm also going to give away a KPL. So everybody gets a little lube. Love. Love lube? Okay, anyways. I know, but it's Doug, so we can go there. yeah, so you guys put that in. We'll pull it towards the end. We've got about 10 minutes left. So, Doug, you're saying as in support. You guys sign up for the newsletter, sign up for a membership, any amount that even if you can just do $5, that would just be awesome. If you can do the 10, every $10 gets you an entry. Stacy has been putting up all the links there that you need to go to the Knife Rights, to go to Knife Works, to purchase a knife. Those proceeds also go to help Knife Rights. Anything else you'd like to state about how we can help you, or what else we can do for you?
It's pretty simple. It takes money to do what we do. The more you guys can donate, the more you can. Yes, Pennsylvania just legalized autos as of January 2nd, 2023.
Woo!
But I hate the fact that I have to be out begging for people to essentially invest in a freer future. But look, it's the nature of the beast. I have to be able to go to these places. Todd has to be able to go to these places. It takes a lot of money. But
yeah.
I think we give you a really good return on your investment because we are continuing to get things done. When we first started out, Crazy Doug and his crazy ideas, ha ha ha, yeah, good luck with that. Now we've got a track record and nobody's arguing about our ability to actually get things changed.
That's right. That's right.
Please spread the word, donate what you can, convince other people to join us, and we can continue to rewrite knife law in America and forge a sharper future.
Absolutely. And even if you guys cannot afford to donate, spread the word, because just spreading the word out there is huge, and it helps. It definitely helps. And it's important. It's important for us. It's important for our futures. It's important for, I've got a son who someday hopes to get married and have kids. I want those kids, my grandkids, to be able to carry and not worry about it, and I think that's awesome. Somebody's asking who's live next. Do you know who's live after me? Hang on, where's your
somewhere.
I don't have my phone. I don't know where it is.
Here we go. All right. After you is Grumpy Grunt.
There you go. So you guys are going to be heading for a Grumpy Grunt after this.
Yeah, the next time I'm on live will be with Knife Junkie Bob.
Okay, with Bob.
At
and somebody asked
2 p.m. Central.
Well, here's a good one. Doomsday Scouts. $10 is cheaper than any knife anyone here is going to carry.
Pretty much true.
Yeah, that's awesome.
If knife people donated just the value of one knife that they don't buy, we can make a huge difference.
Yeah. Absolutely.
But yeah, $10. I mean, yeah, that's not a lot. Hell, you can spend that much or more on a cup of coffee in some places, unfortunately. But
my coffee.
I understand the addiction, but if everyone gives a little, everyone makes a small sacrifice, we're able to continue to get things done. It's just, this is what I do. I'm the beggar in chief at Knife Rights. I beg for money. I beg for knives so that we can turn that into money with our big fundraiser. But I'm also an investment advisor. I'm asking you to invest in a sharper future, in your kids not having to worry about these things.
Yeah, definitely. We are going to go over here. So hopefully you guys have gotten your hashtag in. Let's go over here to Peter.
Yes.
Where did you get the share link on here? Hang on one second.
Yeah.
Technology is wonderful, but
I know, right? Because I can share with Doug on here, right?
Then you go to share screen. Then you go to choose tab. There you go. 73 entries.
All right, you
There
guys.
you go.
73 entries. Hashtag was Doug Ritter. You got about 2 seconds to get it in because we are going to hit the button. It doesn't matter. I put it so that spelling doesn't matter or caps or anything don't matter. So let's go ahead and get over here and let's draw out of the 73 entries. And our winner is going to be Jeremy Spalding.
Hey, congratulations, Jeremy. That's a really cool package you just
Jeremy
won.
here, I hope.
Well, he was earlier.
Oh, Stacy's saying it can be cap sensitive.
Yeah, but it wasn't.
But it wasn't for us because I set it to not be. So congratulations, Jeremy. Jeremy, get a hold of me. Let's go ahead and unshare that screen. Stop screen. Doug, always wonderful to see you.
Absolutely a pleasure. Thank you so much for having me on, and I'm looking forward to the next time that we can actually be together in the same room.
Yeah, I don't know what show that's going to be, but definitely we love seeing you. Would love to get together for breakfast with you again. I'd love for Pete to be able to sit down and have some time to talk to Sue. For those who, Sue is.
We can make that happen.
Yeah, Sue is Doug's wife. She is absolutely awesome. She's a hoot. She gives you a run for your money like I give Pete a run for his money. That's why we get along
both
so
married
well.
up. We both married up.
In common. We both married crazy people.
Well, see, now Doug was being nice and he said married up.
Well,
but I'm not going to disagree with Peter on that, really.
Hey, I resemble that remark. Yeah, you guys, it's always a pleasure, Doug, to have you here to be able to sit and talk with you. Sorry I missed you at California Custom. I was hoping to be able to get together down there. We did not make that one.
Are you coming to Nashville?
Probably not.
Okay.
We have been doing so much traveling on points and family timeshares just to get to where we're going. I don't know that we're going to make it, and we're trying to figure out what we're doing next year. I really wanted to try and hit SHOT Show.
SHOT Show is, it's special.
It's fun.
It's exhausting.
Yes.
I remember the first time I went to SHOT Show, it was like, I'll just go in for the day. It's like, oh, you're a fool.
Well, that's my first time there was last year working for Leon, and oh my God, it was insane. I don't know how many times I took off. I'm just going to go get this. And he's like, you're going to get lost. I'm like, no, I'll be fine. 45 minutes later, I'm like calling him. How do I get back there?
It's great. It's a very important show for us. It's not like we have a booth, but that is a great opportunity for us to meet with manufacturers, not just knife manufacturers, but other members of the Second Amendment community that contribute to us, equipment manufacturers, firearms manufacturers. I mean, we had almost $40,000 worth of really cool firearms in our Ultimate Steel this year. And that's where we get together with them. So yeah, hopefully we'll see you there. I mean, it's not that far away.
Yeah. Just so you guys know, Jeremy Spalding actually passed his win off to Marcos. So Marcos, I guess we're getting together for lunch again to take you your win.
Wow, that is really generous.
Yes, KFS.
Cool. Very cool.
Yeah, thank you so much for your donations. Everything that you guys have donated today actually goes right over to Knife Rights. So Pete and I will tally up what you guys have donated. That will go over to the Knife Rights donations. Doug, thank you so much. You guys need to get over to Grumpy Grunts. And Doug, don't go away. See you guys over on Grumpy Grunts. Thank you so much for joining me.
Bye, everybody.
Thank you, everybody.
Bye.
Have a great day.